2009 was an amazing year for us. Amazing, unbelievable, amazing. I have here many histories to talk to you about. The kids, I can just close my eyes and I can see the kids smiling. I can listen to the voice. I can listen many kids just coming running, jump in my arms and saying, oh, I love you. It's not me, you know that? I know they don't love Sergio. What they love, it's what I represent to them. And we represent this together. I'm your voice there. You know that? I'm the voice of MonaVie there. We represent hope for thousands and thousands of people. Praise God for that. Wow. We have many reports, but have something. We received one letter from a lady that is not for me, the letter. It's for you. And I asked Katy today to read this letter for you. And I'm 100% confident that you understand what is More Project, what we are doing there when you listen to this letter.
So just to introduce it, we have so many things we do. We work on hope and dignity. We focus on education because we know if we can change what's inside, that we can change a whole generation and break that cycle of poverty. And so we work with the children, but we also have a vocational school where we have over 1,000 adults, mothers who've never worked a day in their life, single moms with kids who don't know how to read and write their own language. And so this is a story from Isara, who's in our professional school, and we just wanted to share her own words. I mean, the letter itself is just beautiful. Of course, it was translated from Portuguese, but her words are amazing. So we just wanted to share with all of you, our partners in the More Project, Isara's story. My dear friends, my name is Isara. I'm 27 years old, and I have 2 kids. Luani is 8. And sorry, just as I start this story, I actually want to show this picture because this is Hosani. This is Isara's teacher at the jewelry school, at the professional school. And Hosani is a true light. She is just a light in heaven. And so you'll hear about Hosani in this story. So I want you to be able to see her as I read it. When I have 2 children, Luani, who's 8, and Gabriel, who is 9. When I was 21 years old, my 6-month-old son died. This was when everything started to go downhill. At the time, my husband was using drugs, and he used to give me a little bit to try. I started to think that cocaine was simply a way to distract me and help me forget my son's death. During this time, my husband began to cheat on me with another woman. Although this broke my heart, we rented a place that cost about $40 per month, and the conditions were horrible. The walls were falling apart, and it was very dirty. Every time we received more money, we used it for drugs, to smoke marijuana and snort cocaine. Because we used our money for drugs, we had very little left to pay for family, for our children, food for our children. I began looking for a school for my children, and Pastor Wendell recommended the Believers Project. Of course, I said yes. Yes. My children began participating in the program. At this time in my life, I felt so empty inside, and I felt that no one cared for me. My life seemed to be that of a zombie, dead, yet still alive. Finally, there came a time when I allowed God to work for me in my life. One day the phone rang, and the person on the phone reminded me that I had applied for the jewelry course. Although I once applied, it was never for the jewelry course. It was for a different course. However, I believe God orchestrated this mistake for a purpose. So I met the teacher, Hosani. She was very nice and friendly, and she treated everyone the same. The way she talked to me made me feel like I had known her for years. When I looked at her, I saw a different light in her. It made my body tremble. I enjoyed the class very much, and I returned the following day, and I began making acai jewelry. So I want you to think, the jewelry, many of you have bracelets on your wrist right now. I want you to touch it. The jewelry that you buy from the More Project is either from a co-op, from the Women Up North, or from this jewelry class. So every time you buy a piece of jewelry, the money goes back to these women and helps make all the difference in the world for these women. However, I continued using drugs. I was so desperate for the drugs that I began exchanging my belongings for these drugs, cell phones, cameras. Whenever the effects of the drugs wore off, I would begin to cry and get angry. It was at the point when there was no food in my house because I spent all the drugs that I became desperate. I didn't want my kids to be afraid of me any longer because of the monster I had become. So I took my children to the Believers Project in the morning early so they would have breakfast to eat, the only food they would have, and I knew they would be taken care of. One day during class, I was speaking with Hosani, and because I trusted her, I told her of my addiction to drugs. I told her that I felt this addiction to drugs was not only killing me, but the lives of my children as well. That's when I finally decided to say that I needed help. Hosani listened to my story. She was touched and moved with my situation. I couldn't believe that she wanted to help me. One night, God spoke to me and told me Hosani was the person that he put in my life to help me become free from addictions. Hosani took me to a women's drug rehabilitation center. Following this, I started to go to church with Hosani, and I saw God doing his work in my life. Today, I'm able to take care of my children, and I'm a new woman. At the Believers Project, I have regular appointments with their psychologist. I'm also participating in the English class. My husband is still continuing his life in drugs, and I've left him. I can now say no to drugs for myself. I'm sending this letter to say thank you to all of the people who are part of the change in my life that has happened. I'm proud to say that the MORE Project has changed my life and has taken me from a deep, dark well. I also have to say thank you to my teacher, Hosani, who's helped me so much. God bless you all. From a woman who now dreams to prosper in life.
Isn't it amazing?
We wish we had time. This is just one story, and that's the precious part of going to the project. I hope so many more of you can join us this year because we get to meet each of these precious people, and Sergio's with them every day. But my God, seeing these people go from desperate to really having hope. And this is the beauty of these classes. Hosani teaches jewelry, but do you know what they do every single day? They teach about self-esteem, about belief, about hope, about God. It is not just about jewelry. Yes, they have money, but it is about changing their lives.
Because she received too. We cannot give it if you don't receive, right? Roseanne arrived to us in the same condition years ago. She knows what be addiction. She knows what is lose everything, and she knows where she can find light and change life in God. So she can teach someone. And Roseanne is there not because she's a wonderful teacher. She's there because she's a wonderful person.
Mm-hmm. It's beautiful.
Amen.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Just a couple things just to add. We couldn't stand up here with saying thank you for a wonderful 2009. In 2009, like Dallin said earlier today, we raised more money at the MORE Project than we have ever raised. And if you are involved with other charities, you know they're struggling. You know they have downsized this year. And so we feel so blessed. We raised over $3.5 million with the MORE Project in 2009. We have over 10,000 donors on a monthly basis. So it's an amazing organization. Just to end on a couple notes for 2010. We're growing our children's school. Right now we have 225 kids. We want to go to 400 children next year. We just bought a new building for our professional school. We hope some of you are going to be able to come down in February and help us remodel it. Some of you who are construction workers who have skills in contracting, please join us to come down in remodeling in February. You can look on our website for expedition dates. And we're going to double the size of our professional school next year, so we have some big goals for 2010.
We understood that without education, we cannot change one generation, right? So we are planting, and the most efforts from the MORE Project will be in education, change minds. It's not put the people out the favela, but put the favela out the people.
Yeah, it'll be good. So just one last program that we would like to announce. We're going to be launching this at the Anaheim Regional on January 23rd, but this is our Sponsor a Child program. We're really, really excited about this, and we want to be able to connect each one of you with a child or a teenager or even a mother in the MORE Project down in Brazil. And so please, if you come to the Anaheim meeting, that will be the first opportunity you will actually have to fill out your card, come to the back of the room, and get your child that you can sponsor. You'll be able to write letters to that child, and they will be writing letters to you. When you go down to the MORE Project, that's the really fun part, is you'll be able to meet them in person, meet their family.
They always asking to me, Uncle Sergio, who is my sponsor? Who is my sponsor? I don't know, but someone.
Right now we only have 3,500 sponsorships available. That's all we have to start out. So we don't know how long it's going to take us to fill those, but it's not very many in the big family in MonaVie. So jump on it quickly in Anaheim. It'll be on our website shortly after that. And we think it'll be a great 2010. So thank you so much.